the world right now can feel like it is dissolving, like the ground beneath your feet is shifting and no one can quite agree on what is real anymore. And most people's response to this is understandably panic or noise or reactivity. But what if the most radical thing you can do right now is to simply stay present? What if that's where the real bravery lives? Not out there, but in here. Welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Yolanda. I work at the intersection of astrology and depth psychology and somatic awareness because I believe the psyche speaks in symbols, the body holds what the mind cannot yet name, and the sky offers a remarkably precise map of where life is asking something new of us. So if this resonates with you, welcome. I'm very glad that you're here. Now, tomorrow, the 18th of March, we have a new moon in Pisces, and it's at 28 degrees of Pisces. And before I call up this chart, I want you to sit with that for a moment because there are 30 degrees in a sign. So each zodiac sign is divided into 30 degrees. And the moon and the sun are at 28 degrees. That is almost the end of Pisces, the end of a zodiac sign. And Pisces is, in fact, the very last sign of the zodiac. So we are at a threshold, at the dissolving edge. And you've heard me say this before. Pisces is the ocean, and where we are at is very, very near the shore. So we are at this point where the ocean meets the shoreline. And this is the place where the individual form thins out and something much larger begins to breathe through or come through us, okay? So this is not a casual new moon. This is the seeding at the edge of everything. And you'll understand what I mean there when we look at the chart now. Do remember that 2 days later, so the new moon happens on the 18th of March, on the 20th is the spiritual new year, which is when the sun enters Aries. It is the equinox, literally a portal opening up. I'm not fond of the word portal, but this is what it is. It's a spring equinox here in the northern hemisphere, the autumnal equinox in the southern hemisphere, and the new year. It's the new year. And Mercury stations direct the same day on the 20th. Okay. Let's call up this chart and let's look at the chart. Let's go look at this chart together, but do know that I am doing forecasts for your sun and rising as well. So stick around for that. Okay, so let's look at this chart before we go into your forecast for each sun and rising. So this is the new moon in Pisces event chart. At 28 degrees, we have the sun and the moon, conjunct Pallas Athena, the asteroid. Pallas Athena is the asteroid obviously named after the goddess Athena. Goddess Athena is the goddess of wisdom and war, but war in the sense of strategic advancement, strategy and planning, learned experience. She is not like Mars, where Mars just fights for the thrill and the glory and the bloodshed. Athena is more of a strategic thinker and planner. Pallas Athena, the asteroid, is also connected to pattern recognition and weaving of facts, of knowledge. And unsurprisingly, Pallas Athena is prominent in the charts of astrologers and authors, writers, people who, philosophers, thinkers, like that kind of thing, even generals and leaders, because you have to be able to recognize patterns in order to take advantage to move forward in certain things, right? To be able to predict in order to plan your next move, right? We also have Mars in Pisces, and then we have Mercury retrograde conjunct the North Node in Pisces, and we have the fixed star Fomalhaut, which is one of the royal stars of Persia, conjunct Vesta, which is the asteroid of reverence and devotion. I'm going to need some tea. Now, this huge lineup, well, this long lineup of planets in Pisces speak immediately to the unconscious mind, the unconscious processes, what's going on beneath the surface, what's going on beneath the waves. But do remember the fact that this lunation occurs at the 28th degrees means that you're very close to the shoreline. You are about to emerge. Anyway, this lineup does speak to the unconscious mind, as well as the conscious mind, because Virgo is the shadow or the opposite of Pisces, and Virgo is all for clarity and for analyzing and for understanding, for categorizing and for labeling, and Pisces is, in a sense, the opposite of that. It does not mean that Pisces is unaware, all right, or living unconsciously, and it doesn't mean that Virgo is living more consciously and more aware, because Virgo tends to prefer clarity and precision. It does not mean one is better than the other. Hopefully that makes sense. So what's coming up here at this time is that certain things that you thought were, you didn't have clarity on, or you weren't able to decide upon, are now coming up, and you actually are going to be able to make a decision, but it's going to be an interesting process. It's going to be one of trusting your gut and following your nudge or your intuition on whatever comes up before you make your decision. It's not really going to be, you're not going to be presented with facts. And even if you are presented with what might look like a fact sheet, do doubt what it is that you're looking at, because this is not the time. It's not the time where you're going to be presented with much that's going to be making sense or is even credible. And hopefully this is all making sense to you. You have to trust your intuition, go with your gut, because remember, Mercury is retrograde and he is also connected to the North Node. So there is this pointing towards your destiny and to your future. You are being made aware of where you must go or the direction you must point yourself toward. But again, it's not because you have anything proven showing up or standing next to you. In other words, it's more of a hunch, more of this inner guidance. There's nothing really saying, yeah, this is the path for you, or yeah, this is the job you must take. It's just this hunch, this inner knowing. There's no real clarity. In other words, it could look like something like you don't have the job offer yet, but you just have the strong sense that you're the one they're going to hire. You don't have the promotion yet, but you just have the strong sense that you're going to be the one that's going to get promoted. You don't have the book deal, but you just feel that you're going to get this book deal. It's that kind of energy that's playing at the moment. And then, of course, with Vesta here, which is this asteroid of reverence, of devotion, conjunct Fomalhaut, which is a fixed star connected with creativity, amongst other things, but primarily creative endeavors and being creative. There is this strong push to make art, to make art, express yourself through your art, and just, create, be creative, be godlike in this, because this is the gift. This is the gift you were born with. It's a God-given gift. It is what links you to our Creator. It is your ability to create and make things, right? So there's this impulse during this new moon to make something beautiful, to create something, to give, expression to something, to create something. And then, of course, there is this sextile to Uranus, which means that there's this ease towards making, and then we'll look at your forecast for each sun and rising, but there's this ease to making things beautiful, right? And of course, with Venus ruling Uranus, yeah, Venus is in Aries. There's almost this impulsive need to create things, impulsive need to add more beauty into your life, to make things more beautiful, to bring more money in, to bring more a greater sense of stability, that kind of thing. All of those things are driving you at this time. Okay. Now, before we dive into the forecast, I just want to touch again on this shadow aspect. So the shadow sign of Pisces is Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury retrograde. The Virgo shadow whispers, do something, fix something, analyze your way out of something, be productive. Just being present is not enough. That's what Virgo is saying. But that is the test of this new moon. It's, can you stay rooted? Can you surrender to something higher than yourself, something bigger than yourself, when the mind is screaming for answers, when it's screaming for resolution? That's going to be the big test of this new moon. I write about this more in my Substack, so please follow me on Substack. But what's standing out for me about this in this lunation year is that we've always associated bravery with an external act, like standing up to authorities or corrupt power, of speaking out, of charging forward. I mean, I'm thinking of like being an activist, or I'll write about this. Sorry, I'm drinking my tea. I'll write more about this in my Substack. So please follow me on Substack, because I try and keep these videos relatively short, not longer than an hour. Now, this chart is speaking to bravery. Remember, we spoke about this conjunction with Pallas Athena. Sun, Moon, Pallas Athena conjunction, sextile Uranus. Now, we've always associated bravery with an external act. When you think of people that are brave, we think of people that are standing up against corrupt authority or power. They speak out, they charge forward. And these things do matter. These things are very real. It's important that we have activists and that we fight back. And, but what this chart is illuminating is a different kind of courage, one that has no audience, one that you're not going to get given a medal for. And what is this? What does this look like? It looks like standing up on the inside. Remember, we are in a world that is engineered to fragment our attention. It's a world that monetizes our anxiety and rewards reactivity. So when you are choosing to stay present, to remain present and rooted and clear, guess what? Choosing to remain present, choosing to stay rooted is an act of profound resistance. It's not passive, by the way. Being present, holding your ground, and standing up on the inside is radical. Now, of course, I'm not the first one to say this. Many, many people have said this before me. One of my favorite Stoics was Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, Roman emperor. If you have not read his meditations, then you really should. Anyway, Marcus Aurelius, he was around at the same time that the Roman Empire was weakening and fracturing, and he reflected on this, on how you cannot allow yourself to be colonized by external chaos. So this new moon is seeding the same intention in us. It's like this quiet truth at the heart that a person who maintains their center becomes a reference point for others. In other words, what am I saying? Presence is contagious. Just like panic, panic is also contagious. But the person who doesn't run changes the room. Don't know if you've ever witnessed this, but I have. And there are many examples in history where this has happened, where the person who stands in place, who does not run, changes the room, changes the story. So that is the message here. There are many more things going on in this chart, but I want you to take this message with you for this lunation. Stand up on the inside. Where in your life are you being asked to stay present when every instinct says flee or fix? That is the question I invite you to reflect on. And you can plant a seed right now, but it's going to be a seed not of certainty, but of orientation. The intention to remain conscious, to feel everything, and still know where you stand, because Jupiter in Cancer is holding space for you to come home to yourself in the cycle. I do have videos on Jupiter in Cancer. Please check those out. And Pallas is lending you her clarity. The ocean of Pisces is asking you to trust that dissolution is not the end of the story. It's actually the beginning of a deeper one. All right. Let's get into the sign by sign forecasts, because this new moon is landing in a very specific house for each of you, and that means it's activating a very specific area of your life. Okay, Pisces, I'm going to start with you today because it is your lunation, your new moon. So Pisces, this lunation occurs in your first house of, your identity, your sense of worth, your public persona, how you're showing up in the world. So you're supported by Mercury and Mars and the Sun and the Moon, but you also have these asteroids, Vesta, Pallas Athena. Vesta is blessing you with creative devotion. Fomalhaut is blessing your creativity. Pallas Athena is giving you vision, far-sightedness, vision, creative vision, giving you the ability to plan strategically, giving you courage, right? Making you more present, more attentive to your needs, your own needs. What do you need? What do you need to become more of yourself, to become more expressive, to become more authentic? In other words, more of yourself, right? And what are you doing creatively? How are you expressing yourself creatively? And the fact that you've got um, And the fact that you've got Fortuna across the way in your 7th house, fortune is on your side. You've got luck on your side. You know, people are actually looking at you. People are watching you. People are admiring you. Might be from afar. You might not be aware of this, but certainly they are admiring you. Pisces, this is your time to do something creative because this lunation is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's in your 5th house. Whatever it is you want to do, you know, a painting, a book, a course, whatever creative thing you want to do, pottery, all of that, please go ahead and do it. And it, you know, if you want children, the chances are good that you might fall pregnant. If you're trying, you might have a child now. You may spend more time with children, not necessarily your own, but certainly you may have more fun, more pleasure. Whatever it is you want to do, this is an excellent time for you to write down your intentions and your wishes. Pisces, do wait though for the moon to start showing some light in the sky before you're writing down your intentions and wishes. You do not want to work with a moon with no light. So start writing down your intentions tomorrow. This is going to be published on the 18th, so you want to do this late on the 19th, even the 20th, because the 20th is when Mercury is stationing direct again, and it is the spiritual new year, Aries, the sun in Aries. But certainly, Pisces, this is a fantastic time for you, wonderful time. All right, do leave a comment if this is resonating with you, and do like and subscribe, Pisces. Okay, Aries, Sun and Rising. So we have this lunation occurring in your 12th house of secrets and retreat and reflection and deep psychological processes, you know, usually shadow work. But it's also a very creative house. I want you to remember this. The 12th house is very created. It's connected to the unconscious mind. So pay attention because there's so many, you know, conjunctions and planets and asteroids are connect. Like, for example, Vesta is about reverence and devotion. Fomalhaut is a fixed star connected with creativity. We have Pallas Athena there with vision and foresight, but also writing. Pallas Athena is associated with writing and pattern association and even weaving. So if you do anything associated with weaving or anything like that, then this is a fantastic lunation for you. But anyway, if you are thinking of writing a book or you are writing a book, this is a fantastic time for you. It's giving you the time. I mean, this lunation is basically saying retreat, take time out and go write your book, or retreat and go create your, you know, woven baskets or whatever it is that you're going to do that's creative. Wonderful, wonderful time for reflection and contemplation. Okay. Contemplation, by the way, attention tends to be focused and directed. Contemplation, by the way, is more of a act of releasing or letting go. It's this waiting. So when I say contemplate, I'm saying you are waiting for the muse or for some insight to come through, you know, to you. The muse, the daemon, something is waiting to seed something within you. And you might be feeling this, like you might be feeling like you're on the threshold of some great revelation or some great truth coming through so that you can share it with the world. With Jupiter ruling this lunation and Jupiter's in your 4th house, there is also this possibility that you're going to literally retreat, stay at home more. You're going to be working from home more. If you haven't been doing that, certainly going to be at home, retreating. This is not the time for you to start anything new, Aries, so please do not start anything new. This is just time of, like I said, contemplation, retreat, devoting yourselves to something creative, some creative pursuit. There is this possibility that someone may be coming to stay with you. Could be, you know, an older person, a parent, And your money situation, Aries, if you've been struggling, if you've been worried about money, that's going to come to an end around April, towards the end of April. Okay. Aries, if this resonated with you, do leave a message, a comment, and do remember to like and subscribe. Okay, Taurus, Sun and Rising. So this lunation occurs in your 11th house of network, networks, people, friends, groups, associations. And oh man, you've just got a lot going on there. You're busy. Taurus, you are very busy. You are very popular around this time and going forward, the next few weeks. Extremely popular, extremely busy. People are inviting you. You're spending a lot of time discussing as well creative projects, creative ideas, or you're being invited to, invited to submit your work, for example. People are seeing what you're doing. They like what you're doing. They want you to maybe show up on their podcast, or that's a real possibility, by the way, Taurus. So if you're applying to podcasts, media, whatever you want to do, like you want to be interviewed, now is the time. Now is the time, Taurus. Go for it. Apply. People are actually listening to you. They want to see you. They want to hear from you. This is a wonderful time for you, Taurus, Sun and Rising. What else is happening here? You are busy with your siblings. Your siblings are, you're chatting with your siblings. You are catching up with your siblings. It might be that you're going to visit a sibling or they're visiting you at this time. Uncles, aunts, cousins as well. That's also coming up. What else can I see here for you? Whatever's happening around this time is definitely increasing your profile, how you are, how you're seen by others. And this is, again, really, Taurus, I want you to grab this time. If you're wanting to become more visible, known for your work, this is the time to apply, like I said, to show up on podcasts, etc. Okay, do remember to like and subscribe, Taurus, if this resonated. Now moving on to Gemini, Sun and Rising. So Gemini, Pisces is your 10th house of career and recognition. So success, recognition, responsibility as well, and ruled by Jupiter in your second house. So you could see money coming in from whatever it is you do. So your professional work, your job, you could be earning a bonus, royalties, whatever the case may be, but you could also be promoted at this time. And so there's more money coming in because of that. If you're self-employed, more clients, so more money coming in. It could even be, what else could it be now? It's definitely more clients, more people becoming aware of you and your work if you're self-employed. And if you're not self-employed, your boss, your superiors at work they know how good you are, they're taking care of you. Now, if it's not translating into money, because I do see more money coming in for you, but if it's not translating into more money, it's definitely translating into a greater sense of worth. So you are feeling more confident, more empowered, and you are actually, confident, proud actually of the efforts that you've been putting in at work and what you've been doing. Okay, I'm gonna end it there, Gemini, because there's a lot more coming up in April. But yeah, wonderful, wonderful time for being recognized for your worth and for your work. Okay, moving on. Do like and subscribe if this resonated with you, Gemini. Cancer, Sun and Rising. So Cancer, Pisces is your 9th house of travel. Travel, higher education, law, justice, religious, studies, that kind of thing, spiritual, well, more religious studies. So you might be spending time away in an ashram or a retreat. You may be going and taking up a new course, going back to school, high school, I mean, not high school, university. You may be traveling. Okay, that is a very, very strong possibility with Mars cruising through your ninth house and also Mercury now stationing direct on the 20th. You are probably traveling overseas. And yet you are going to have a wonderful time. It's going to be very good for your sense of self, for your, your identity as a person. You're just going to feel, it's going to expand your sense of self. You're just going to feel more knowledgeable, more acquainted with other cultures. Your experiences with these other cultures are going to make you more empathetic, more attractive, really, even more, how can I say, more magnanimous and magnetic to others, your experiences, right? You may be even traveling for business, and this is also going to help your profile. You're going to be known for your travels and for what you've done. If you are, for example, if you have a YouTube channel where you travel the world, this is going to be a wonderful time to travel because people are going to notice you. You're going to make unexpected friendships as well if you're traveling, or if you're going to a retreat of some sort, or if you are fighting a court case, by the way, Cancerian Sun and Rising, you're going to win. Very good time to be involved in any legal affairs. You're going to win for sure. Okay, I'm going to end it at that. Cancer, Sun and Rising, do let me know if this resonated with you. Moving on, Leo. So Leo, Sun and Rising, this is a lunation occurring in your 8th house of, taxes, sex, death, intimacy, psychological processes, but also occult matters like astrology and tarot. So all of these things might be interesting you at this moment. You might be interested in astrology, tarot, also therapy, psychological stuff, especially depth psychology, Jungian studies, that kind of thing. That might all be interesting you, and it's a good time for you to look into this. But there is also a good chance that you are aware that you may need therapy, or you may need to do some shadow work at this time with Jupiter cruising through your 12th house. Excellent time for you to consider doing that, to working with a coach or going to see a therapist who can guide you through this process of shadow work. What else can I see? It is also a very creative time, and there is money coming in. You've got Fortuna here in the 2nd house. There's money coming in, possibly from an inheritance, but it could also be taxes, maybe a nice tax payout or an insurance payout. Okay, Leo, and if you've been wondering what's going on at work, things are going to change if they haven't changed already towards the end of April in a surprising way. If this resonated with you, do leave a do like and do leave a comment. Thank you, Leo. Moving on to Virgo, Sun and Rising. Okay, so Virgo, this lunation is occurring in your 7th house of romantic and business partnerships, and also how people are seeing you, the public, how they perceive you. So you are definitely being watched. People are, looking at what you're doing. You may be considering going into a partnership. You may be even getting married around this time, or your partner is your focus at this time. Now, I don't have access to your personal chart, so this might not apply to you, Virgo, Sun and Rising, you directly, but I am going to caution you about getting into any agreements before the 20th of this month specifically. But even then, I want you to navigate the next 2 weeks cautiously, especially when it comes to business partnerships, right? Because you do not have all the information that you will require to make a sound decision. Right now, you are working on hunches and feelings. And while you are probably being guided in the right direction, as I mentioned right in the beginning of this video, I would still, because remember, Virgo, remember you need to be in possession of facts and figures. So I want you to remember this. Remember who you are. You need this. You need facts and figures. You need to look at the accounts. You need to you really need to have everything in order before you sign on the dotted line. If you do not have all of that in order, please do not sign. Chances are that everything will come around the end of April. Everything that you need to look at is going to arrive around the end of April. Possibly, maybe sooner. Like I said, I don't have access to your personal chart, but this is what I'm seeing here. You are being protected. You are, fortune. This is Fortuna here. You are being protected and guided. So, if you go against what I'm saying here, everything will still work out in your favor. I think, again, I'd have to look at your chart. Jupiter is in your 11th house. Again, people are watching you. Your friends are coming through for you. People are supporting you. You have support. You have guidance. Excellent time for you to join groups, associations, to network. Wonderful time. If you're not doing that, Virgo, Sun and Rising, I highly recommend you start doing that. Okay. So Virgo, if this resonated with you, please do leave a comment and remember to subscribe and like. Libra. So Libra, Sun and Rising, you have a lot going on in your 6th house of job and health and daily routine. With all these planets in Pisces in your 6th house, if you're looking for work, you are going to get a job offer for sure. That is coming through. And it is going to be a fantastic position for you. It is going to be a blessing. It's going to feel like a blessing. It's going to be a blessed position. You are going to excel in this position. Whatever job comes your way now, if you take it, you are going to excel in this position. You're going to be recognized for your work, for your qualifications, whatever it is that you're bringing to the table here. You are recognized. You are appreciated. Your bosses are going to appreciate you. Wonderful if you're looking for work. If you are self-employed, this is also a wonderful time where people are recognizing you as an expert in whatever it is that you're doing. On the psychological front, yeah, I'll just touch on this quickly. On the psychological front, you are still having to deal with some shadow material. This is all going to be sorted out by the end of April, but it is possibly centered around issues around money and stability, how well-resourced you are, how well-resourced you feel. Shadow material around stability, money, financial stability specifically. So you may be feeling you are worth more, but you don't have the courage possibly to ask for more. That kind of stuff may all be coming up at this time. Libra, I want you to stand your ground because you are in an excellent position to get what it is that you deserve and you are asking for. Okay. Okay, Libra, Sun and Rising. Do let me know if this resonated and do like and subscribe. Okay, Scorpio, Sun and Rising. So Pisces is your 5th house of creativity, of children, of fun and pleasure, romance. Okay, so wow, there's a very, very good chance that if you are traveling or thinking of traveling, you are going to get into a romantic relationship with someone overseas while you're traveling. If you're not traveling, there's a very good chance that you're getting involved with someone from a different culture. Okay, so someone sexy and attractive, whatever, from some other country or from who might live in your own country but is from a different culture. or faith, right? Excellent time for you to engage in pleasurable activities, and certainly you're being pulled and pushed this way. You want to go out more, you want to experience more, maybe you want to go to the theater, maybe you want to eat out more, maybe you want to go to if you're a nature lover, you're probably wanting to spend more time outside in nature, camping, whatever it is you want to do that. You're just seeking more pleasure, more romance, more moments of intimacy with your loved ones or your loved one. If you are wanting children, now is the time that you might get pregnant, or your partner may fall pregnant at this time. You may adopt, anything like that. This is also time to spend with children. If you have children, your children are going to be your priority, spending more time with children. Writing, making art, all of these wonderful things are really your priority. This is what's coming up for you, Scorpio, Sun and Rising. Do let me know if this resonated with you, and do remember to like and subscribe. Sagittarius, Sun and Rising. So Pisces is your fourth house of home, of lineage, your roots, right? And Jupiter rules this lunation, and Jupiter's in your eighth house. Okay, so all kinds of things could be coming up here. You could be really finding out more about your ancestry. You could be submitting your DNA for testing, kind of thing, going into ancestry.com or something like that. That might be something that you're thinking about, or you may have recently discovered that you have family that you didn't know of, or that you suddenly made aware of. Possibly connected to your mother's side of the family. What else is going on here? Yeah. There is also a very strong possibility of pipe or plumbing issues, like a burst pipe, water issues, because, of this trine here, with Jupiter in Cancer and all these planets in Pisces. The possibility of water trouble might arise. But it's going to allow you to be, let's put it this way, it's going to be a blessing in disguise, because whatever occurs now, Sagittarius, Sun and Rising, is going to make clear other fundamental issues or other foundational issues that need to be repaired and worked on. And so it's going to be this blessing in disguise, and you're going to be able to create a plan going forward. Again, because this Pallas Athena there, this plan, the strategy comes into place where you fix the home, the foundations of the home. If you don't have plumbing problems or any of that, it again might have something to do with your past, with also possibly someone passing away, and an inheritance coming your way. That is also a possibility. Okay, Sagittarius, Sun and Rising, do let me know if this resonated in the comments, and do remember to like and subscribe. Okay, Capricorn, Sun and Rising. So Pisces is your third house of, siblings, cousins, aunts and uncles, but also communication and your immediate neighbors and your community. Ruled by Jupiter here in your seventh house. Okay, it could be that a lot of attention right now is on your spouse or your business partnerships or your business partner. Your business partner might be getting a lot of attention, or your spouse is getting a lot of attention because of work that they've done in terms of speaking, communicating, writing, sharing their ideas. This is good for you. This is good for you in terms of, yeah, it's, how can I put this? Whatever's happening with your spouse is educational and helping you improve, like spiritually as well. You feel that you're growing through your experiences with the other, if that makes sense, with your experiences with this other, with this partner, with this business partnership, somehow aligned, even your community. Through your community, you feel like you are gaining wisdom, that you are growing as a person. In not so good things, if there's been some sort of issue, misunderstanding with a neighbor, this is about to resolve itself this week. Things should be improved by the end of this week. So if you have not been, on the same page with a neighbor or with a sibling, you should feel that things are resolved or better, by Sunday this week, around that time latest. Okay, when Mercury starts moving forward on the 20th, things start moving forward for you again. Okay, Capricorn, do let me know if this resonated with you in the comments, and do remember to like and subscribe. Okay, so Aquarius, you've got Pisces is your second house of income, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your how well resourced you are or feel. And yeah, ruled by Jupiter in your sixth house of job and daily routine and your health. Okay, you are definitely blessed health-wise, but you're being made aware of any issues you may have around inflammation, feet problems. If you have had any feet problems, that's about to resolve or get to improve around this time. You do want to follow whatever medical guidance or advice you've been given. What else is there? I feel like your daily routine is you're very focused on your soul growth and on your spiritual development. This is really what your focus has been on a lot lately, Aquarius. Like you just want to feel more at peace, more at ease, more aligned with your soul's purpose. And so I feel like you're inclined more towards journaling and daily reflection, or certainly thinking about more of that. And this will be very good for you, and as well as meditating. And then also your nutrition, whatever you are eating at this time, is also coming into focus. You are becoming more aware of what you're eating, what's good for you, what's not good for you, what's agreeing with you, what's not agreeing with you. Now, there is money coming in, and if you've been struggling with delays or anything of the sort with money coming in, that's going to end as soon as Mercury starts moving forward again on the 20th. Money is going to start flowing from that day onwards. Okay. All right, Aquarius, Sun and Rising. If this resonated with you, please do like and subscribe and leave a comment. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.